Hello, my sewing friends. My name's Diana, and this is my sewing channel, The Wandering Sewist. This week's Chatty Catch-Up, Friday Sews, is mostly a self-accountability video. So first I want to say thank you to Jen from Today in Jen's Sewing Room for starting this hashtag. I think it's 3 years ago now, of Friday Sews. And it's a place where we sewing vloggers get together on a Friday and we talk a little bit about sewing and a little bit about life. So this week I have to record on Wednesday, and I'm going to try to record little bits on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday and get this video up on Friday. We'll see how it goes. But I needed to do some accountability for myself because I'm having a very hard time sewing this dress, the cashmerette Upton dress. For some reason, I am not coming into my sewing room and working on it. So let me show you what I have done so far. So I managed to get the front bodice. I remember I was talking last week about all the problems I was having with this very floaty, lightweight fabric. So what I had some very great suggestions from all of you, and I took most of them and tried just about all of them. And so what I did in the end was I switched to a 60 very fine microtex needle, and I reset my sewing machine all the way from the beginning and I programmed it for a very lightweight wovens like organza and chiffon. And then I, in addition to that, I'm using a piece of fabric as a starter and a stopper. So I put a little scrap of fabric under my needle and start sewing on that, and then I butt up my seam against the edge of that fabric and then just continue on sewing onto my fabric. And that has made a big difference. So the tension is finally doing well. I don't have the puckers. I did wind up taking out that seam. That's this seam right here. I did take it all the way out, and I just started over from the beginning. And so I have my princess seams with no puckers now. So in addition to the front bodice, I have put together the two pieces of the back bodice. So I have both of those put together. For this dress, I used the Cashmerette has a sizing tool on their website. Let me just pull it out. So you can, it's like a sizing calculator for their patterns. So it's called, let me see, Cashmerette size calculators. So this is the size calculator that you can go to. And so what I did was I re-measured myself and I put in my measurements, and it told me the sizes that I needed to make. So it says that I needed to do a bust of 16 with an EF cup, waist of 24, and then a hip of 18. So I had to do some very intense grading between the sizes. Going out to a 24 waist, I don't know if that's going to work, because I had to do a lot of grading. Maybe that's the reason why I am not wanting to work on this dress, to be honest. So since I moved to Prague, I have gained 30 pounds. And I'm very, very discouraged, and I'm having some problems with my health and with my weight, and I'm not liking where I am right now. And I know that we're just supposed to sew our fabrics for where we are right now. But when I put in my measurements into the size calculator, and I saw that. I'm getting upset just thinking about it. It was a lot. It was a lot, and I was very, very discouraged. I do eat a healthy diet, and I go walking 5 kilometers. That's about 3.2 miles nearly every day. And I do a little bit of yoga, not too much because I have other issues, but nothing seems to be helping. So I am super, super upset. I'm a little bit depressed and frustrated. I don't want this to be about weight. I want this to be about my accountability for finally finish this dress. But I'm thinking through the reasons why I haven't been working on it. And while we're talking about that, I need to address the elephant in the room on the camera, which is this scarf on my head, which I put a beautiful pin in. I'm having a super bad hair day, and I have a headache. And so I've wrapped this little scarf around my head and decorated it to make myself feel better about my hair, because we know how we feel when our hair doesn't look good. And hoping that a little bit of pressure on my head will help to relieve my headache. Because since I had my surgery last Tuesday, I've had a headache. So hopefully this will help. I can see a little bit of I don't know if you can see if it's coming up on your screen, but I have a yellow circle right here, which is the leftover bruising from my oral surgery. Fun times, fun times. So I feel a lot more put together with this scarf on than with my hair, which was looking very bad. So it makes me feel better because this looks nice and put together. I'm wearing some beautiful earrings that my husband gave me for an anniversary gift years ago. And I'm wearing one of my me-made Simplicity tops that I just love in a double gauze I got in Africa. So next, what else is going on? So this is pretty much the only thing I've been working on. I do have a friend who would like for me to make them a set of the barnyard animal toys that I showed you before. I'll link that video up here in the cards and down below in the comments if you'd like to take a look at the barnyard animals. So she wants me to make her a set of the barnyard animals. So I will probably start that very soon after I finish this dress, which I hope to have done for our trip to London in April. I hope so. The other thing is a pattern that I got printed that I want to show you. So I have printed the Montrose dress from Little Lizard King, which is adorable. And I'm going to be making this dress for my son's wedding for my 3 granddaughters. Here are the line drawings. So my soon-to-be daughter-in-law on September the 14th would like for the 3 girls to wear this version. And to be honest, I can't wait to start making it, but she wants me to make it in a very light baby blue. So the bodice and the underskirt in a very light baby blue satin, and then the overskirts, there's 2 layers of organza overskirt in a very light blue organza, and then satin binding around the edge of the skirt to match the bodice. So I'm really looking forward to this in a way, but in another way I'm terrified because it's satin and organza. And let's be honest, I've never had success sewing with satin. The one time I tried to sew with satin, I didn't know you needed a special needle. And so every time my needle went down into the satin, the fabric went, brrr, it ran, just brrr, just like created this like brrr, horrible. It was horrible. And it was completely ruined just with the first seam. So this time I'm going to make sure I have the correct needles and the correct thread. I need the special thread for satin. And then the organza, I have seen other people, Sean from Kittenish Behavior, trying to sew the organza and put hems on it, and it did not look fun. The good thing is I don't have to try to do a narrow rolled hem on the organza because I'm putting bias binding, the satin bias binding around the edge. So that's, I think, the only saving grace about this dress. But I am a little bit worried, but I'm also really excited. So I just need to share the page. There's a page in here on how to measure your babies and your children so that you can get the proper sizing. So I just need to send a copy of this page to my future daughter-in-law and have her measure all the girls so that I can, and then we're gonna have to discuss in 6 months on September the 14th, what size will all 3 girls be? Because you know, children grow, especially babies, and 2 of them are babies. So we'll see how that goes. So that's in my future plans that I'm excited about, and also making another set of the Barnyard Animal toys. So hopefully this time when I make the second set of Barnyard Animal toys, I will do a better job about insetting the ears and the little details inside the seams and catching them when I sew around, because I had a hard time with that the first time. But now that I know that that's an issue, I'm going to be much more careful and pay more attention to it. So, and this is the wow, words are hard. A0. This is the A0 printed copy of all of the pattern pieces. I'm a tracer, so I'm going to be tracing out these pattern pieces. I do need to pick up some more tracing paper before I do that. But my local stationery store has a section in the back for packaging materials, and they have rolls of tissue paper for packing gifts in boxes, and it's just on a big roll, and it's fairly inexpensive. So I'm gonna pick one of those up next time I'm at that mall, which is the closest one to me. So, and I'm there quite frequently. As a matter of fact, I walked right past there yesterday. I probably should have stopped, but I didn't. So, but when we get the sizing nailed down, then I can start tracing on that. And then while I'm in London in April, I'm hoping and praying that I can make a trip to the Gold Hawk Road in London, where I will be able to get quality satin and organza fabrics for these dresses for my son's wedding. I really, really hope that that can happen. I'm not sure if I'll be able to make it. We're still working on the timeline, but I'm hoping that I'll be able to do that. So that's the sewing that's going on, and mostly I'm doing this vlog to hold myself accountable for working on this dress. no matter the size, I still need a dress for my trip to London because we're going to be going to a semi-formal event and I need something beautiful to wear. So I'm going to work on this, and I'm going to continue to check in with you so that I will feel like I am accountable to someone to work on this dress every day, even though I apparently, I really don't want to. I don't know why, but well, I do know why, but apparently I don't really want to work on this dress, but I really need to. So I'm going to have this be my accountability. So I will check in when I get around to the next part. Hey, so I have been busy working on my my Upton dress from Cashmerette, and so I just completed step 5, which is to create the bodice pieces out of the lining. So what I had to do different with the lining for this is I really want the entire dress line fully lined, the skirt and the bodice. And I was looking through my lining fabric, and I have my lining fabric of preference is a viscose, a lightweight viscose. And for this fabric, I had a white viscose. But I didn't have enough for both the skirt and the bodice. So I decided to just use the viscose for the skirt because I had a big flat chunk of it that was perfect for the skirt. And but I did have some very lightweight white cotton fabric that I am using for the lining of the bodice. So I have made the lining bodice pieces. I have the front bodice here. And then I have the 2 back bodice pieces here. Okay, so that is step 5 in making the dress. Step 6 says to trim 1/16 of an inch off of the assembled lining front bodice and back bodice around the neckline as shown, and then stay stitch neckline as shown from step 1. So that's what I'm going to do next. But first, I need to take a bio break and have a meal. So I'll be back with you later on. Hello, I'm back for another accountability check-in. So I have been working on my bodice some more. And I have finished the outer bodice completely. This is the front. And then the back will have an invisible zipper, so the back is open. So the outer bodice is completely finished. And the bodice lining is also finished. And I have pressed up the waist by 1/2 inch to the inside. That's for finishing the inside of the bodice. And then I have pressed in the sleeve by 1/2 inch, and that's for finishing the armhole when I insert the sleeve. I have also sewn my sleeves together and put the gathering stitches into the sleeve head. So my next step is to insert the sleeve into the bodice. So I place the assembled sleeve into the armhole of the bodice shell, that's this, with the right sides together, pin in place, aligning the notches and the sleeve seam with the side seam. Pull the basting stitches on the sleeve cap as needed to fit. So that'll be the next thing I do. And then I will sew the sleeve into the armhole at 1/2 inch seam allowance, going slowly to avoid any tucks or puckers, definitely. And then I press the seam allowance towards the bodice. It will later be enclosed by the bodice lining. So I don't have to worry about finishing that seam because I'm going to be folding the lining seam allowance on the arm side over the top and sewing that down. Okay, so I need to now do that for both of my sleeves. I only have about an hour and a half until kids start to come home from school. So I'm hoping that I can completely finish the bodice before the boys get home from school. We'll see, because after I insert the sleeve, then I have to join the lining to the bodice shell and do all of that part. I've never done that part before, not the way that they say here, and not with a square neckline. So that's all going to be new for me. Yeah. So, and then once I get those joined, it'll be sewing the skirt. And for me, I will also be sewing the skirt lining. So because the pattern does not have a lining set of instructions, what I'm going to do is I am going to sew the lining of the skirt to the lining of the bodice when I join the bodice and the bodice lining and the bodice shell together. So I'm going to go ahead and whip up the lining and sew that in so that when I am folding over this waist seam to enclose, then I can cover both seams. I still have to figure out how that's going to work. I'm not exactly 100% sure. I might be hand sewing it on, but we'll see. I'm not exactly sure how that's going to work, but that is what I would like to do, is to enclose that seam when I, yes, just to cover it up. So I think what I need to do now is I need to read the rest of the instructions for finishing the bodice, because then that will tell me at what point I can sew on the skirt and then still be able to finish up that seam. Yes, that's what I'm going to do now. So I'm going to read the rest of the instructions, and I'm going to whip up the skirt lining, and then I'm going to sew the skirt lining to the bodice at the appropriate step where I am joining the bodice and the lining together. I know that sounds really complicated, but once I figure it out, I will come back and let you know what I did. Okay, so I went away and I read the rest of the assembly instructions, and what I have decided to do is I have decided to assemble the lining and the skirt and sew the waist of the lining to the waist of the skirt, except leaving about an inch unsewn on either side of the center back seam. And then when I insert the invisible zip, I will sandwich the zip in between the lining and the outer fabric. And then I can stitch the lining down around that piece of the waistband and around the invisible zip, probably by hand. And that will give me a nice clean finish and still give me the swooshy full skirt that I wanted for this dress. So the next few steps are going to be very, very complicated. So it may or may not be today. So the next time you see me, I might be dressed differently. It might be tomorrow. So I'll get back with you as soon as I'm ready. Hey, accountability check-in. I have finished the bodice and I have sewn in the lining just around the neck. And it completely changed the way the bodice was feeling for me. I was hesitant about this fabric, but now that I have it lined, I really like the way that this is looking now. It's a whole lot nicer than I thought it would be. So this is what the bodice is. I did make a little tiny tuck here in the corner, but I think I'm the only one that's going to notice that, and I'm not bothered by that too much. It's so small that it's barely noticeable. But yeah, there's the bodice with the flutter sleeves. I haven't hemmed the sleeve yet because I want to wait until I try it on to see how much of a hem I want. So, but there we go. And I just pinned it close in the back so that I could see how it was going to look. So I am pretty happy with my bodice. So next I'm going to start sewing together my skirt and my skirt lining. Oh, this keeps coming off the hanger. All right, so next accountability check-in later on. We'll see you then. Hello, my friends. This is Diana back again on the next day. This is Thursday, the 7th of March. And so this is another accountability check-in. So what I have done so far is quite a lot. So I do have the bodice finished, fully lined. I do not have the zipper in place yet because you don't put the zipper in until after you have joined the bodice with the skirt. So the bodice is done. And also the skirt is also done. So here is my skirt. I decided to do the pleated skirt. You can see the box pleats there. Now, what I like about the pleats on this is they're boxed, so it's not the, I don't believe it's a kind of pleats that's going to add bulk to my waist because these are box pleats. So that will hopefully minimize the bulk around the waist. I also fully lined the skirt, so you can see the lining here. So I decided to cut the lining out and then just sew it to the waist seam of the skirt. And then I'm going to treat them like they're one until I get to the point where I'm going to insert the invisible zip. And I'm just going to sandwich the invisible zip between the lining and the outer shell of the skirt. So this skirt has pockets, nice big pockets right here. You can see I can go all the way to the middle of my forearm where my bracelets are. So that is a nice deep pocket. And I really do love how this skirt moves with the lining. I think that's going to be pretty amazing. So the next step is to actually join the skirt and the bodice together. And then after I get the skirt and bodice joined together, then it's time to insert the invisible zipper. But I think before I insert the visible zipper, I will do a try-on session where hopefully that'll give me an idea if I have to do any alterations before I insert the zipper. Since this is, I did a sewist bad. I did bad. I did not make a toile. I just decided to just go for it. You know, I'm a mom. I don't have a lot of time for toiles. So I just decided to just go for it. So didn't make a toile. So I am going to just try it on before I get the invisible zipper in, so that if I have to make any small adjustments to the fit, then I can go ahead and do that at that time. So yeah, that's what I'm going to be working on today. I am wearing my Marnie from Tilly and the Buttons, that is made out of this beautiful double gauze that I sourced in Africa. And I am again wearing a scarf on my hair because my hair looks terrible. I have, I guess I need an appointment with my stylist because I can't seem to make my hair look nice. So I think I need to make an appointment with my stylist, especially before I go to my big event in London. I want my hair to look nice. So, but I have been thinking about not coloring my hair anymore. I mean, I'm 56, I'm a grandma of 3 little girls, and you know, I earned every one of those grays, so I'm considering just embracing it. So I do have, my roots have grown out quite a bit, maybe that much, and so perhaps I will see my stylist and just get my hair cut super short and just go with the gray. So let me know in the comment section down below. Have you tried that? Have you gone gray? How did you go gray? Did you do it gradually? Did you just grow your hair out and chop it? Let me know. Let me know how you decided to do that. Okay, so I'll be back later for another accountability check-in. Hello again, my friends. So accountability check-in here. As you can see, I am wearing my dress. It is not finished. I do not have the zipper in the back, so it's just pinned. But I wanted to get a feel for how it was going. And for some reason, this the lining is kind of curling out here. And it's probably because I don't have the lining secured to the waistband or to the arm size yet, because I can't do that until after I get the zipper in. And I'm gonna just tilt you down. So the waist seems to be roomy. And the pockets are nice. The sleeves, I mean, you know, I'm not crazy about my arms, but I think if I just do a narrow rolled hem there, that'll be fine. I might need to just cinch in this waist a little bit more to give me a little more shaping through there. I think, yeah, I think that this versus that, I think that makes a difference. So I think I need to do just a little bit of taking in there, just a little. And since I don't have the zipper in, it's possible to do that. I'm going to move you around so I can show you the bottom of the skirt. Sorry. Okay, now I need to step back. So you can see that there's nothing hemmed yet. I would obviously I would hem the lining shorter than the overskirt so that it doesn't show. But this is what I have so far. The back is just pinned on. But I see that the fabric is sticking to the lining. So I may have to get one of those, you know those sprays that take care of static cling? Even though the lining is a viscose, I didn't expect it to stick like that and right up, but I need to do something about that because that is not okay. That's going to create a weird look in the finished product if it continues to do that, and I don't want that. But I think with a few tweaks, of course, when I get this will stop happening once I get the lining sewn down, I'm sure. And I'm not 100% sure about the princess seams. They don't seem to be exactly in the right spot. Maybe they're close. They seem to be a little outside of what I would have expected. It's close though. So I think that before I put in the zipper, I'm going to go in and just reduce that waist seam just by taking a little bit out of the side of the waist. Maybe just a little bit on either side. I think that's what I'll do. Just go into the side seams and just sew up, you know, like maybe just a 1/2 inch on each side, just a little bit in, a little bit. I will, of course, pin it first and then have a look at it before I do that. But yeah, so it's getting close. It's getting close. I have something that I can work with now. I imagine wearing this with some pearls and some pearl earrings. And I probably will need to get a new set of shoes. I don't think I have shoes that will be appropriate for this dress, but I think it's going to be pretty nice if I can just work out a few of the issues that I'm noticing right now. One being the static cleaning of the skirt. I'm not sure exactly what's going on with that. I'm gonna work on that and pull in the waist seam and come back. Hello, my sewing friends. It is Friday. So I have been working on this dress for you and my accountability check-ins on Wednesday and Thursday and today, Friday. And so what I have so far is I have the dress pretty much assembled. And since the last time I checked in with you, I have sewn in the zipper, the invisible, not so invisible zipper, because I tried my best, but apparently I can't do an invisible zipper with this. So it's not quite invisible. You can see the white line of the zipper down. I'm not bothered that much by it that I want to take out the zipper and go back and redo. I also did take a little bit out of the side seam. I haven't tried it on since then. I just haven't had time. So I just want to quickly wrap up this video and get it up for Friday Sews this week. So that's the sewing that I've done this week, and life has pretty much been uneventful. So I don't really, other than getting my stitches out this morning from my oral surgery, that's pretty much the only life that's been going on. And today is going to turn out to be a super busy day. So I would like to get this wrapped up and wish you all a very happy weekend. As they say in the Czech Republic, in the Czech language, it's hezký víkend. And I hope you all have plenty of time to sew something beautiful. Bye.